Well, I hope you're all doing well. We're continuing with our weekly portion review, and this week we again have a double portion, which is Acharei Mot Kedoshim, which is after death, which is Acharei Mot, which is the after the death of Aaron's son, and Kedoshim, which is be holy. And they talk about the laws of the Day of Atonement, Yom Kippur, the different offerings we have, blood rituals, and there's also the sexual practices as well. And I want to get in a little about this idea of what's behind what's the moral idea behind the prohibitions of these sexual prohibitions of arayot, as it's called in the Torah. And so in the Torah, the passages on arayot, we actually witness an expansion of the concept that we see in Leviticus 19:18, which is love your fellow as yourself, that famous verse. Now, in Western culture, often they confuse the term of love and desire, right? But in truth, they are really opposites. And desire is self-censored, right? It's about satisfying my own cravings. And love, on the other hand, is more about fulfilling the needs of the other, right? So it is precisely in the laws of arayot, of the sexual prohibitions of the Torah, maybe subtly, but still provides a profound distinction that we should really note. Now, the forbidden relationships are with those that are closest to the actual person, right? His sister, his mother, the daughter, the aunt, and more. And it's as if the Torah is saying, if you're seeking love, you have to look outward, right? Love has to extend beyond the tight boundaries of one's immediate family. Then the Torah decides to address a broader circle, right? It's more of refining how love should be expressed. And again, it says it forbids a man from his neighbor's wife, from his own wife during the period of impurity, right? We call it the Nida period, and ultimately from same-sex marriages or relationships and bestiality. And again, we have to ask why. Because love really requires openness to that which is really the other than me, right? Even in a same-sex relationship, the individual seeks someone that is like themselves rather than someone that is different, ultimately. And that means they lack the potential for procreation. And in that sense, it's reflecting that such a connection really remains closed within itself, right? It's like a sterile circle. And according to this, infertility in these relationships is not just it's not just biological, but it's also symbolic, right? The Torah calls us to break free from our self-centeredness. And really nothing is sadder than a person that's really enclosed within themselves. This, I would also say, sheds the light on why the Torah doesn't explicitly mention the prohibition of male masturbation, shmirat habrit, what it's called, preserving the covenant, because anyone who learns the laws of sexual prohibitions of the arayot with seriousness will realize that the self-gratification is the most extreme form of self-enclosure, ultimately. And it's really the climax of the egocentric attitude that the Torah really wants us to escape. And so, through the laws of arayot, of these sexual prohibitions, the Torah is trying to channel the human capacity for love outwards, right, towards another, and in the right measure, with the sacred intent. And in these divided times, we really have to do our best to be able to look outwards and be able to see the other as well, and understand that God's image is in them as well, and look out and try to find connections outside of ourselves. And hopefully then we'll be able to create unity and bring on a peaceful time. I wish us all a Shabbat Shalom. Take care.